This week, it's a big picture dude soup. We're talking about the unexpected market losses many big publishers and developers are reporting, plus layoffs at Activision-Blizzard. Welcome to the show. I have to take it down a little because it's serious.
NPR.
Yeah,
Thank you.
NPR.
Thank
I like
you.
that.
I better
felt
learn
warm.
something.
Yeah, that was good.
You want me to talk like
Thanks.
Alf for this whole episode?
No. Can
Hey, what are you doing?
This is Elf thanking our sponsors. Before we
don't
get into
know.
the show, thank you for our sponsors, Robinhood Honey and Mac Weldon. Robinhood is giving Dude Soup listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint at dudesoup.robinhood.com. Honey is helping you get the best prices on Amazon by joining at honey.com/dude. And Mac Weldon wants to give you 20% off your first order of men's essentials, including underwear, by heading to macweldon.com and using promo code DudeSoup20. Now that that's out of the way, we can
Nailed
do
it.
our Elf impressions again.
Is this brought to you by Alf?
I wish.
I think the voice actor is just waiting for that phone to ring. He
He's
sees
dead.
these headlines.
He's
Is he?
long dead.
Dead. I'm
Or
sure
he's
he's got to
behind,
be dead.
he's behind the couch.
You think the dad's still alive?
hiding.
The Elf dad is still alive?
Yeah.
80s dad. What
Didn't
was that
he
guy's
eat
name?
cats?
Alf wanted
Elf
to eat
ate
cats.
but
yeah.
never ate cats.
Okay.
Not on,
But wanted to.
on camera, on screen. My name's Elise Willems, and I'm joined by Adam Alfkovic, Bruce,
Brulf Green.
Wow.
Bruce Green, and Lawrence.
Sontalf.
I'm with Alf Sontag. Oh,
Together forever. I just realized Alf, much like Perfect Strangers, was just an analog for immigration. Think about it.
Perfect Strangers wasn't an analog.
Think
He was
about
an
it.
immigrant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. His weird ways, aren't they so weird?
said America or bust,
He's really
didn't
hairy,
it?
too.
I just remember when
Things.
he was back in Pog form.
Yeah.
That's when
Alf's
it ended.
back in Pog form.
Remember Alf?
No.
Yeah, I think a lot of things that we've traditionally loved are maybe not having such a good time right now,
you should
including
make
Alf.
Like Alf, yeah.
Like Alf.
Alf's having a rough year.
A lot
A
of
lot of
the
references.
the major companies, the major gaming publishers, developers that have sort of been mainstays in the industry have been divulging their Q4 2018 earnings over the last month, or going into Q4.
They ain't so hot.
They ain't so hot, and a lot of market share downturns.
Yeah.
EA shares fell 13% last Wednesday, which was their single biggest market drop in 10 years.
Did that event coincide with anything? What was the reason for
They
the drop?
did. They released figures from Q4, but it also just kind of a big response to Battlefield 5's performance.
Yeah, it like underperformed, even though they had fairly ridiculous expectations for it, as I recall.
Yeah.
It did, but it was never, it had been delayed. And that was also another reason the stock had dropped previously in the
That's
last few
right.
months.
and they had the much promised Battle Royale mode, which they delayed until
March.
end of Q1
Yeah.
this year.
It's not out yet?
It is not out yet.
No.
I'm going to play it.
Me too.
But
Man.
EA did have a bump on Monday because of the success of Apex Legends.
right.
They got a little bit of a boost.
Yeah.
But then we're also seeing other entrenched franchises like Fallout, taking a hit. Even though Take-Two had a great year with Red Dead, it's kind of unclear if Red Dead Online can sort of sustain that momentum the way that GTA Online did. So a lot of these huge publishers that have traditionally been institutions unto themselves are kind of facing it's like a whole new world. Today, Blizzard, Activision issued massive layoffs, which it's happening now as we're doing this episode. So I want us to handle it with the utmost tact because a lot of
Respect,
people are losing their jobs, and it's
Yeah.
And we don't know the number either. Usually there's like a
don't.
percentage of workforce.
Right now they said 800.
yeah.
People?
And I think there's 9,000 employees across
That's a huge
Activision
layoff.
Blizzard.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very, very huge.
Yeah, Kodak, I guess, put out a thing saying we hit record numbers this year, everyone. It's enjoy your fucking billions of dollars, dude. That's cool.
That's insane.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Here, I'll keep the article open
So
Yeah.
while it's
Blizzard
going.
is a weird. So disclosure and also brag. I am dating somebody who works at Blizzard.
That's right.
We hold hands on frequent occasions.
She's beautiful.
Yes, she
I
is.
love
She's
her.
very, very nice.
She's a force of nature.
You don't deserve her.
I don't. You're 100% right, but actually, 2 minutes before we started recording, she sent me a message saying she still has a job. So that's good.
That is really good.
She's been wanting to throw up for the past week, so that's cool.
Yeah, because Bloomberg kind of broke the news last Friday.
Yeah,
right?
Bloomberg did, and then Schreier at Kotaku clearly has somebody on the inside feeding him information because
That's what I'm looking at right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
within
Twitter.
minutes he'll be posting confidential stuff. So
We've talked about this before where I forget his name, Patrick Kleptic or whatever.
Kleptic,
I remember,
yeah.
I remember he got an inside scoop on he did a thing on Kotaku where they leaked all the Modern Warfare 3 stuff, and it's
watershed moment for games journalism.
Kind of, but it's like, we get it. You have a friend who you went to college with who leaked you something, or
Yeah.
some fanboy
Have you ever gone
emailed
back
you.
and read that? Because it starts like it's the most slow jack of a writing article I've ever seen. It was
Slow
like,
jack.
in the past. Well, yeah, it's just like one guy throwing his leg up on the nightstand and like 1 second per pump, really slowly working it out. No, it's serious.
Yeah.
We in the past have always respected the boundaries between publishers, but that ends today. Like it's the anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think like last.
I knew about Sombra early. Eat my ass.
Ooh. In December or November, I think Kotaku was reporting that they were expecting layoffs at Blizzard.
Which is honestly, like, yes, I get it. It's journalism, but also at the same time, personally, I would feel terrible if I were at Blizzard. Like
Yeah.
Stephanie, I'm sure she's been stressing out
Yeah.
for a while. And when you hear that, there's a company of 9,000 people.
And you're not finding it out from your boss. You're finding
Yeah.
it out from a dude in a
Dude who kind of seems a little gleeful about getting the scoop on very bad information. Just throwing that out there. Maybe not the most technical.
Well, that I guess that's the other thing too. I see it from the outside a lot of times when big corporation, EA evil, Activision evil, totally. There are very good, normal people who just working a job, man, just trying to make it in this crazy hustle and bustle. It's like,
this alphaless world.
yeah,
As we know it.
What a dark timeline we're in now.
Yeah.
And we always reiterate this, like, try to put the human side to it. It sucks to lose your job.
It really does.
Especially in this way when, I mean, we're part of it now, but the conglomerations,
And a lot of
conglomerates are getting bigger and bigger.
When your dream was probably to work at
Oh,
Activision-Blizzard,
Yeah,
too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And
But a lot of those people,
I
Sure.
think.
Sometimes it's your dream to pay your rent on
Yeah,
time.
that's just true too.
And this is a way to do it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could always see people putting their hands up in unison and saying, "Yeah, fuck the man." It's like, the man's not getting fucked. The man just reported huge earnings for this year because they let go a huge amount of their staff.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
And it appears that the staff let go was non-game development departments. So publishing and esports were the two referenced
Esports,
specifically.
They had kind of bloated up because of Overwatch.
Yeah.
Overwatch League.
Yeah,
right?
which
I mean, like,
it's just such terrible timing because there's like big Overwatch League event this weekend too.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Overwatch League is starting up this
Yeah.
weekend.
But how separate is that from MLG, which is a property they bought
yeah,
10 years ago or whatever it was?
I'm really confused about that. Yeah, because they did buy MLG a while ago, basically bought the production studio, and then hired up a ton for Overwatch League, which has shown some results. Like Coca-Cola is sponsoring this league, and there's no bigger brand in the world, really. McDonald's maybe.
no, you're right.
So they clearly are executing on a business plan. But there was like World of Warcraft and Overwatch League are the two bulk hires they did. Because for World of Warcraft, they needed support centers in like all across the planet.
Yeah.
So it's weird to think about, like, World of Warcraft is kind of plateauing. So yeah, they're gonna have to trim staff a little there. Overwatch League, they probably hired as much as they needed to really explore the potential. And then once they found the potential, then they scale back to what they need to support it. It's clinical and it sucks, but
Yeah. J. Allen Brack, Blizzard president, in his note to his staff said, over the last few years, many of our non-development teams expanded to support various needs. Currently, staffing levels on some teams are out of proportion with our current release slate, which
is empty.
side note, I guess.
It's Warcraft 3 Reforged and Diablo Immortal.
Yeah. But I guess there's projections that like there are 2021 releases that we can expect that they're working on behind closed doors. But and to continue his quote, this means we need to scale down some areas of our organization. I'm sorry to share that we'll be parting with some of our colleagues in the U.S. And then they also expect similar evaluations in their regional offices.
I mean,
so,
I think this is generally kind of normal especially for video game corporations and video game companies, is they blow it up to make a game or blow it up to support things, and then they scale back down, like Lawrence just said.
Yeah.
I think that is something that, yes, it's part of the world, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But it does happen, and we're also in the middle of a recession, or about to be. We're really, really close. So
Maybe this is causing the recession.
Well,
it's a chicken or the egg
No
type
out.
thing.
in December, Wedbush securities analyst Michael Pachter, who we all know well.
We all know what.
He spoke to Bazinga, not Bazinga,
Bazinga.
Ben Zinga's pre-market prep trading show, talking about the decline in all these publisher stocks,
Sure.
right? Because that's what you would think. You would be like, all these stocks are declining. There's probably a gaming recession on the way. And he kind of said that he thinks that game publishers are relatively recession-proof, is his position on it, which not everyone agrees with him. But he said, and this is quoting him, on the subject of Activision-Blizzard's downturn. They're going to make $2.58 million this year, or if they miss that, they're going to make $2.55. Next year, in the worst case, they're going to make 2.35 or 2.45. Like they're still
billion, not
making.
million,
yeah,
right?
I meant
Okay.
billion. But yeah, they're still like making a substantial amount of money, which to some people's point in the industry would say, well, why aren't we in unions? Like, why are we in these development cycles where we can have these layoff cycles? Because why aren't we protected by these developers? And I mean, it's a question because it's like, is this the nature of the beast that you're signing up for, or is it something that there should be protections for? I honestly don't know.
From what I've seen, it is the nature of the beast, but that doesn't mean we don't need unions either. So it's like I've seen this, and I'm like, I always hear about QA testers where they hire 200 QA testers for a game for 3 months, and then they all get laid off, and that's bad news for the company, right? Because they have to say, oh, we laid off 300 people, but if you really look into it, they do that every 2-3 years. And I'm not saying that this is good. It just ends up being the nature of the beast. It ends up being the problem.
But even this one's kind of weird too, because it's, they said non-essential or whatever. So it's like the esports team. Not every game publisher has an esports department. It might be a guy with a webcam who's like, we'll make it work. But they invested heavily in this medium, and it's not going the way they hoped it would. Maybe in some parts, but not. They don't own the world like every goddamn executive with a boner says.
You just become Charlton Hest. Every goddamn dirty executive.
It's just no one ever, from where I've sat, no one ever goes in, hey, we want to try to make a modest product. It's always, I want to slam my Magnum condom on the table and you will all bow to me. No one ever goes in with the concept of, hey, let's try to entertain people and everyone just goes, I want ESPN, but for this, even though ESPN is a dying brand.
Yeah.
But they keep saying it because all they have is cable. It's like, that's the world they know.
I think you hit on something. You talk about how there's this perception that game publishers are struggling and yet they're clearing ass loads of money. I think it's because there are now so many different ways to make money off of games, different pipelines entirely, and all of those are so much more lucrative than just selling a $60 game has ever been. So you have the free-to-play model, but like Battle Royale model. Apex is hitting that and hitting it hard. But I think with like EA and Battlefield 5, that game's in development for like 2 years, the ground moves from under you after you already funded everybody to start working on that game. So now multiplayer shooters aren't hot anymore. So you go slam on DICE's door, say, hey, we need a Battle Royale out of you like right now. And then we'll do what we can, but we already let go of all our concept artists because we're past that point in the project. So, and then they have to delay the release. And I think what it is, Adam, to your point, is it is an executive seeing like all the numbers from all the different ways you can earn, whether it's subscription model, microtransaction, free to play, Battle Royale, what have you. And their eyes go cross and they're just like, I want it all. And then they slam it on the table until they try to make a game that does all of those things instead of just targeting one of them like Apex Legends did. So it's I think it is the metric for success, like the highest you can soar has gotten so much higher in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And only like 2 or 3 games can ever get there, but each publisher wants to have all of them.
Yeah. And it's sorry, what were you going to say?
No, that's fine.
It's kind of, I feel like Apex Legends is a like gold right out the gate, and man, EA must be like thanking their lucky stars, like, wow, this is such a hit. But I can only imagine if you've been working on Anthem for so long, and all this promotion that's been leading up to Anthem, which is coming out like next month officially.
It's in like 2 weeks.
And now EA is kind of like whole hog on Apex Legends, and there's this big push there. Like, would you feel marginalized?
Well, you know why, right? I mean, it's the speculation is, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I would definitely feel marginalized because EA stock. I mean, just disclosure. I have a few shares in EA stock and in Activision.
Conflict of interest.
No, insider trading happening now.
No, it's exactly the opposite. I bought high. So like they've all tanked, and I've watched it happen in the last 6 months.
I did see a post today to buy EA.
And
that's why you went on vacation.
That's right. Sure. I actually lost a ton of money so far. Either way, with EA.
But you might be going back up.
Well, we'll see, won't we? In about 4 years. But EA released Apex because their stock had been tanking for so long. Like everyone was saying, it's just been going down. It's down the tubes for the last 3 months. And the speculation was, we need a game right now that's a success. And they got it. And when they released the game and it's a success, their stock popped. And it was one of those things where like, maybe that's what they were doing. They're just sitting on it, waiting for it so that they could be like, well, we need something because Anthem wasn't doing it.
Yeah, but is that like lights out for BioWare then?
And boy, what a like they're just the victim of bad fashion, which is like the looter shooter thing hit a while ago, came and went. Bungie kind of rode that ship out too. So it makes sense like 4 years ago when BioWare was pitching Anthem and EA was like, yeah, let's do it. And to in 6 months have your prospects go from looking rosy to everybody just shitting on it. Especially when you put 4 years of your life into it and then you get laid off for it. Fuck me, that's awful.
I can't think of a more polar opposite of Anthem than Apex Legends, which is funny because it's like, from what I've heard, Apex was done by the B team at Respawn because they kind of just needed something to do because the core team's working on the Star Wars game, right? So they're like, well, we need something to do. They're like, well, what if we tried out a battle royale mode for Titanfall? And then they made Apex Legends. And like, oh, we stripped a lot of stuff out, and they went, oh, that's cool. So it was only made by like a handful of people, basically. Like, didn't have a huge push behind it. Anthem is like,
Everybody.
money.
Yeah.
Core's new studio. Let's go
Promotion.
crazy. It's nuts. And then you play and go, well, this is hot garbage.
Yeah,
And
you juxtapose the performance that like Anthem didn't, or Apex didn't really even have a beta. Like basically it came out.
It just came out.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
Anthem had that big build out. So now you're seeing the video starting to pop up where they go, Anthem E3 announcement versus video now. Look trash garbage it is. When in fact it's like, no, yeah, games are really hard to make and the art style is actually pretty impressive and the animation's really well done in Anthem. And then when you put out a beta, you're going to get a lot of issues. Whereas Apex, they just put out when it was ready, and
well, there were no trailers, so nobody had their hopes up. Nobody was like, "Oh, I can't wait for Apex Legends." It didn't matter. It's free.
It's so crazy to see old game industry, and by old I mean 2006 moving forward, which the game industry changes every 4 years. It's like your body dumping its cells and regenerating itself, and then new industry, which is self-aware game developer saying like, "Yeah, man, what a shit card, right? We're EA, we're owned by EA, and there's going to be microtransactions, and it's a battle royale game. Man, so glad we just put it out." And I was like, they were smart to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's succeeding.
Having played both for many hours now, Apex is like 7 hours, and Anthem's probably more like 15. I like them both. Unfortunately, I own stock in EA. Everybody, but I
paid to like it.
I actually really like both games, and I really liked Anthem a lot, and I feel terrible for it because people are shitting on it so bad.
Yeah.
But my hopes weren't even that high. Like I was just sort of like, oh, cool, it'll be fun. And the more that I played it, the more I liked it.
It's just kind of a mess from what we played. Have you guys touched it at all?
I played it a little bit.
Yeah.
I got, like I said, after about 3 hours, I was like, oh, got it. Clicked in, I was in. But it's just getting your hopes up. That's all it was. It was the potential that people saw in Anthem versus there was nothing for Apex. Nobody had any hopes up for that. So of course that's why Apex is a success because it's free and no one had ever seen it before.
It's ballsy because Daniel Ahmed, who's a video game analyst at Nico Partners, he released the.
Is that Shuge EX?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
he did
love that guy.
a comparison of the number of Apex Legends players after certain time periods versus Fortnite. And 8 hours, you guys probably know, Apex Legends had 1 million, 1 day 2.5, 3 days 10 million. Contrasted to Fortnite, which was 2 weeks 10 million, 6 weeks 20 million, 11 weeks 30 million. Everyone's trying to get their new Fortnite, but Fortnite didn't really have a traditional like launch or traditional development in the sense. So like I think that me personally, I think Apex Legends is going to be as close as you can get to competing with Fortnite. I don't know if anybody else is ever gonna.
I think you're right. I think it's gonna.
that
I think it's
mark.
probably burned out too fast at this point. Like it's gonna, explode and then it'll just like die down and Fortnite will still take over. But you're right, Elise. I don't think that anything's gonna get anywhere close to the Fortnite numbers.
I don't know if that's a hot take. I think that's probably just pretty.
right.
No, I think that's pretty normal.
Fortnite's like
reasonable.
new Minecraft. It's the new king.
It's going to be a staple for a while.
Yeah.
What kills me is like this release model. It's exactly like a mobile game. You put it out free to play, no announcement, and then just hope that like word of mouth and also kind of chasing trends does the work for you. So Candy Crush is a match 3. You put social mechanics in it because it's a team-based game. So you get your friends to install it so you can play together. It's funny that like core gamers like hate mobile, typically revile it as the antithesis of their gaming, but that's exactly what Apex is.
Correct.
It's taking that model. It's not a bad thing. I just think it's funny that that's how things shook out.
I didn't see it so much as a mobile marketing thing, but more of the the smart guerrilla marketing, which is get the top 10 streamers, give them money, have them put a hashtag ad on it. They're going to make money off of this because they're pushing it. Now the question is, when does the stinker happen? You know,
The N-word.
when does the Apex Legends failure, the opposite though, like where they're like, they hype a thing up, it comes out and it's just a wet fart.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, what game is that when it happens? And then do the streamers, the Dr. Disrespects and the Shrouds and such, do they go, no, I took too big of a hit on that? Whereas like everything was just in perfect alignment. Like lightning struck at the exact right time. Hype behind a game, your favorite people are playing it, everyone's making money, and we're all just throwing dollar bills at our faces.
Yeah. Twitch metrics data showed that Apex Legends averaged 245,000 viewers versus 115,000 for Fortnite. But admittedly, EA was like paying streamers to stream it.
It also took away from Fortnite's market share there on Twitch because Fortnite's usually around like 180, 190K concurrent viewers, generally speaking, and it had taken away from Fortnite. So this wasn't in addition to, it took away from the Battle Royale mode for Apex.
Yeah. And like, as we get back to Blizzard, again, it's not like Apex Legends came out, and so Blizzard went, oh no, we need to lay off people. Like, that's not what happened.
Even
that's
if you
not
wanted
how
to
things
do
happen.
that, if like let's say that I were the president of Blizzard, and I was like, I need to lay off 900 people tomorrow.
No,
I don't even think
it's not a real thing.
that's legally possible. Like if I just started calling people and panic yelling into the phone, I wonder if I really wanted to, how fast, if I were the president, and how many people I could lay off.
Yeah.
Just like as like a game show.
I don't know. I don't know that you could.
No, you can't. This stuff's been playing for a long time.
Yeah. And like we've said before, it's kind of tied to Blizzard's, Activision's like traditional game development cycles. But I think that it would maybe be safe to estimate that, Blizzard's overall game plan may be affected by trying to exist within the Fortnite economy. Like everybody pursuing that battle royale.
I would agree.
Well, I thought Overwatch was a really good middle ground between a traditional product and something that has microtransaction. I thought that was them entering the modern phase of gaming pretty
in their own
appropriately.
way, I think.
And they were on games as a service way before everyone else with World of Warcraft. So they still get that monthly sub, and they get microtransaction revenue through Overwatch and Hearthstone, and have largely done it without angering their player base. If you're mad at Blizzard, I'm sorry, but I'm just speaking in broad strokes here because they're mad, man. If you try to tell somebody who's mad at World of Warcraft that people aren't, they will let you know the truth.
I found I'm less mad at things the further away I get from them. So like I remember when I was like really into Destiny and I'd be on the subreddit, you start to see people and you're like, yeah, I hate that they changed this one little thing. But man, it's the greatest game in the world if you take a 3-month break and you come back and you go, oh man, there's so many things to do this week. I don't have time to play all these things and get all the powerful gear.
I think I once did a podcast where we talked about how like PlayStation added the extra step to turn off your PlayStation.
Oh,
wait, hold on.
And I was like, I don't know why we're talking about this. Like,
to be fair, that is annoying. Mostly because it shrieks at you when you turn it on if you didn't turn it off properly.
Wait, was it Xbox or PlayStation?
it was PlayStation. It was like
They added an extra
Well,
step.
this is years ago. This is like
It's like putting it into power
4
save as
years
default,
ago or
and if
5
you
years
unplug
ago.
it while it's in power save mode and plug it back in, it goes, and then it's like, next time you turn me off, make sure to do it the right way. I'm like, fuck you, PlayStation.
I guess that's
Don't we have an
why.
ad read?
I'm doing what I want.
Oh yeah, actually, I think we do here. Let me check this out.
Xbox
Oh yes.
doesn't do that. Checkmate, Sony ponies.
A huge thank you to Robinhood in this moment. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission free.
That's how I bought my stock, by the way, just so you know.
While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, there's no minimum account deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. I think Bruce did it in 3 because he's that savvy.
It was just one.
You can also view stock collections such as 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, trade your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving our listeners of Dude Soup a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. You can sign up at dudesoup.robinhood.com. That's dudesoup.robinhood.com. Thank you, Robinhood, for your sponsorship.
So let's throw out a hypothetical. Your PlayStation is off,
Oh my gosh.
and you know you have to unplug it. If you do it the right way,
why would you need to unplug it?
Because I got to move it. Let's say
Because of how big your house is.
you got to turn it on to turn it back off.
In other Activision-Blizzard news,
Come on,
which
Sony.
seems so trivial in the wake of lots of people losing their jobs and their livelihoods, but it is worth mentioning that Activision is offering a weird full refund program for customers who purchased Guitar Hero Live between December 1st, 2017 and January 1st, 2019.
Because it's like it's a service-based game, and they're going to shut it down.
They had Guitar Hero TV, which you could use as kind of like you get supplemental music through that, so you could get up to 400 songs through that. They closed it, so now you have like 40 options, which I don't know if James got Guitar Hero.
He was always a
Live.
rock
He was
band kind
Rocksmith
of guy.
man.
Rocksmith? Or
Yeah,
rock
He goes
band?
both ways.
Okay.
You know he does.
No.
You know, Stephanie worked on Guitar Hero.
Live?
We get it. She's the perfect woman.
No, she did World Tour and Metallica and Aerosmith. I think Van Halen. Back when it got.
So where's my refund, Stephanie?
I'll
Or you
ask
could
her.
bang on their door. But yeah, just a lot of
That's
coming out of
an
Blizzard.
interesting trick though, because they have to make people admit that they bought Guitar Hero after 2002.
So they can put them on a watch list.
Yeah, like it's like saying like, yeah, I touched poop.
I
would like my $15 back,
I went
please.
to a preview event for Guitar Hero Live. I don't remember why.
I got to tell
know,
Autumn's
snacks.
mom, because Autumn's mom bought that game.
Live?
We played it at Thanksgiving. And I was like, this game ain't bad.
When did she buy it though? Did she buy it
I
like?
think she bought it in between those dates.
It's a guitar that has 2 strings now instead
Yeah.
of just one.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
Exciting. You can actually fret and
cool
stuff.
buttons, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they were like staring down the barrel of a class action lawsuit, so they got ahead of it,
Probably what happened.
and they said,
I
"Yeah,
guess lay your plastic
Unlike-
guitars down next to your fidget spinners and your iPod Nanos.
Yeah.
I figured this podcast would be kind of a downer because of the impending Blizzard news and these industry trends, which maybe just seem like doom and gloom right now, and we'll bounce back. But as you said, I think we might just be generally heading for a recession.
No, the economy's headed for a recession.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what, and it's one of those things where I don't know that people want to hear that, but it's relatively true. I read an article every single
I know.
day that says that.
Yeah.
So,
Readjustment.
But is
something
that the
like
self-fulfilling prophecy where it's like the more you say it, the more it's just going to happen?
well, that's everybody's question, right? Nobody knows.
Right.
Yeah.
But either way, the economy's been growing for the last 10 years. So it's a
Correction.
It's a
That's the
cycle.
word.
It's
Yeah.
a cycle, everybody.
Yeah.
It's just like life. So we have ups and downs.
That was why I was always told, like early on in my life, I was trying to get into securities and financing. Like that's where my life was going to go. I was like, I'm going to tell people how to invest. And like, I don't know. But either way, the thing you always told people was mutual funds. And they're like, why? And like, it's a 30-year investment. And people are like, but I want my money now. Like the Bruces of the world who are like, EA,
Where's my money?
EA, Activision, I'll bet on all
Yeah,
the
you screwed me. He's on the phone.
Bruce bet on all the
With Bobby
horses called
Kotick.
like She Comes in First and like
I got a garage full of Guitar Hero Live. What do I do?
but it was always the story I was sold or taught or whatever was that the market always has ups and has downs, but it's always, if you buy a mutual fund, it's going to
It trends up.
but that you'll get a 5% return over 35 years and you build to hit some sort of retirement. It's like I've lived by that my entire life where it's like put your money away and save it under the mattress because then the government can't find it.
Well, to be clear, I bought EA, Activision, Take-Two. I bought basically every video game stock I could find because I love video games. And I knew they would go
bonus.
down. 'cause
You follow
that's
the news.
That's what, and I follow the
Yeah.
news. I knew, like, I
Why
knew
did you
that's
buy Nintendo?
I was gonna buy Nintendo. Actually, I meant to do it, and I never did. I should have bought Nintendo.
I bought before the Wii U came out. I was like, they're gonna do it again.
Oh,
Here we
no.
go. Wii again. Well, I didn't lose any money because
Okay.
their stock went back up. But man, if you bought pre-Switch,
Right.
it's another Wii
I
situation.
ran through a Toys R Us parking lot in my pajamas to buy a Wii U.
You were the only
I was
one.
a fool.
Pikmin
You're
3.
the only one. Well, either way, like if you haven't sold the stock, which I haven't,
I absolutely
done.
did.
Oh,
Well,
no.
it was
I didn't sell stock.
It was pointed out to me that it was a conflict of interest to hold stock in a gaming company.
Sure. Regardless, I haven't sold it. So for me, it's like
Wait.
like one of those things where I plan on holding on to it for 30 years because I was like, Activision, EA, those are safe companies. I think they'll probably be around in 20, 30
When you
years.
had that Nintendo stock, you were working at Machinima?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that around the time they had the whole Xbox debacle where they broke every FCC regulation known to
no,
man?
it was shortly thereafter.
Okay.
Yeah, I was still writing scripts, so I was like, yeah, that's actually true. I shouldn't hold assets in a company that I'll be reporting on.
Maybe.
Well, you
I
can
don't
also
know.
put the disclosure in the article.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a thing you can do. So
Say everything, like how rich you are, how many times you had sex.
Yeah, I have sex regularly.
There it is. Yeah. Disclose everything.
It was not remotely. It was like under $1,000 of like Nintendo.
that's the same with me.
Wow, that's nothing.
And generally, the disclosure
Thanks,
is
Elise.
the disclosure
Jeez.
is only usually if you're giving investment advice is when you have to say what you own. Generally,
That makes sense.
yeah, that's usually what you have to do. But I just said it because I thought it would be funny.
It might color the tone of your statements, Bruce.
there was
Whatever. I'm sorry. I like Anthem. I apologize.
no.
there was that kid in the like late 90s, early 2000s who's like the penny stock scammer. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever saw this kid.
Is that the one from the movie?
No. He was like 16 or 17, but he was a wise youngin who knew how to use chat boards and message systems, as the news article went on to say incorrectly. But either way, he would buy penny stocks and he'd go on forums and be like, buy this, and he would raise it and sell it. And then he made like $300,000 in a couple months doing this, and he got fined, but his fine was like $400. And he was like,
Worth it.
you got it. And he just like kept doing, and like no one stopping him. And I was just like, what a corrupt little fuck.
There are better ways to save money, and honey is one of them. Okay, guys? With millions of top-rated sellers offering the exact same products on Amazon, finding the best deal can be extremely stressful. And even when you think you found the best seller, sometimes you can't be sure. That's where Honey comes in, Honey. Honey is a free browser extension that helps you get the lowest and best price on Amazon by comparing the price offered by every seller that carries the item you want. So Honey factors in shipping, sales tax, or Amazon Prime status to make sure you're getting the lowest total price. It shows you the best deal every time, even if Amazon doesn't. Amazon has so many different sellers that are selling the same product that sometimes it's difficult to sift through that noise and truly get the best deal. I face this problem all the time, whether it's buying toys and treats for Benson or shoes for myself.
Or Alf.
Or Alf paraphernalia. It can be tough to pin down the best price because of all these sellers. So with Honey, you'll make sure that you get the free shipping and save the most money possible at the same time. More than 10 million people are using Honey, and you can save some money. You can be that 10 million one. So next time you're shopping on Amazon, don't wonder whether you found the best deal. Just add Honey and get the best price automatically. Add Honey for free at joinhoney.com/dude. That's joinhoney.com/dude. Honey is the smart shopping assistant that saves you time and money. Honey.
That's a sweet Alf shirt.
Well, it's
Show it to Elise.
Gandalf.
You know. That's pretty great.
I like how you look surprised at it. Like, never seen that one before.
I'll have to look for that
Wow.
You guys are
later.
at home.
I'll need to
I
look
know.
for that later. Yeah, but I wanted to bring up the mood a little bit because of the bad news of today. Talk about something positive.
Let's do it.
Last
results.
year, Norman Reedus did an interview with Metro UK, and he talked about Death Stranding, but they couldn't release it because of embargo. So finally, his thoughts on the game and Kojima have come out, and I love how stoked Norman Reedus is to be involved with this. So I wanted to give you guys some quotes because it's nice when like there's this negativity that you see passion. Norman Reedus said, "I saw that video game director, Kojima, at the Video Game Music Awards.
That exists.
Walked down the steps
not a
and
real
they
thing.
lit up under his feet like Michael Jackson. And he goes, I'm back. And the place is like, oh my God, like grown men in tears. I was like, who is this God? Whatever he wants to do, I'll do it. He's a genius.
Norman Reedus had never heard of Kojima before that. Does he even know what a video game is?
Isn't that wonderful?
All it takes is light up stairs.
He saw Kojima. He saw how revered he is in the
Right.
industry.
Okay, so
This is how people describe cult leaders.
Well,
I didn't
Which
know you're
actually,
right.
I'd probably do whatever Kojima
maybe
told me to do.
Norman Reedus is just sort of like innocent. Like
It
he's-
is-
like take him to a rave and he'd be like,
He's got the mind
I don't
of
know
an
how
8-year-old.
the lights move, but they do. And they somehow move through some sort of air, like particles. I don't know how they do. It's like fog.
so we're all really cynical. We're really cynical.
We are,
people.
we are.
For the most part, some of us not. But I think that he's looking at gaming through like really pure eyes. He's looking at the person that's never been jaded by gaming. Like he said, Kojima keeps telling me people will watch all these trailers. They'll come up with these ideas and look for all these Easter eggs, and they have been doing that. Like,
Wow.
He's right.
but it's just like
Kojima
he
knows this
has
industry.
no negative frame of reference.
I wish
toward
we'd
this.
taken Norman Reedus to that Sonic party because the people at that Sonic party revered, they loved Sonic like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They wanted Sonic to be
Well, Sonic healed one of them, didn't it?
He stood up out of his wheelchair. I
Yeah.
keep telling this story. It's the same story. Stood up out of the wheelchair, and then created Sonic as Sonic was released.
But it was also still like a Smash Mouth live situation, like Smash Mouth, that Kind of Funny Prom or whatever, where it's like, yeah, there's a band, but it's mostly a CD player doing most of the work.
Honestly, sometimes it's just really nice to see this like pure.
It is.
No, it's really nice.
He said, that guy is a genius, Hideo Kojima. I'm like, oh, so they'll be playing me? And he's like, no, they are you. We will make them cry as you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, then he said, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a video game. But Norman Reedus, he's like going with it. He's so into it.
I think that's cool. I think it's really cool because Kojima seems like
he's a dreamweaver.
He is, yeah, but he's made a business out of it, which is almost impossible. It's one thing to sit there like Lawrence in a bar and yell at people about cyberpunk and all these things. It's another thing for like a William Gibson or someone to write a book called Neuromancer or whatever and be like, I collected my thoughts and I put it on paper and people can read it and enjoy it. So it's like, that's sort of Kojima. He can build a world for you, but then he can also market it and sell it, we
talk about this
awesome.
a lot though, which is if we'd never seen a video game before and we saw Anthem, we would like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's fucking awesome. We would love it. Yeah. We would love it because you'd never seen a video game before.
Right.
And I think that's where Norman Reedus comes from. Because I don't think he's played a video game in 30 years.
That's kind of what it feels like. He's not too into gaming culture.
Right.
But his introductory is the most batshit game you could give. It's like.
Well, to what you were talking about previously and about how the harsh realities facing game publishers and specifically the fact that different games clear so much more money than a single player, questionably story driven, whatever the hell Death Stranding is going to be.
Idea driven.
Yeah. Well, Kojima's extra unique in that he can still get a budget to make a monstrosity of whatever that game's going to be. Like Metal Gear Solid 4 is the most batshit game in the world. It's barely even a Metal Gear Solid game, but somehow he got the budget to make it, which, not surprising he got kind of shoved out of Konami. Because they have fucking gambling revenues. You can't beat that. Not with a box product. So
I mean, Sony kind of gave him a blank check and said, give us the next Metal Gear. And what we have is probably not the next Metal Gear. Well, it is a baby delivery service simulator, but
I think
it looks wild.
To what you said,
quote
Adam,
Norman Reedus, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a video game.
well, anyone else in that position that has navigated that industry would have to talk about the product like it's a product. Like, oh, it's going to have this revenue model. You're going to be this character. Yeah. There are these aspects about your character design that will appeal to an 18 to 34-year-old male. Kojima instead writes a poem and like sticks it on the wall, and then they pray to it every day. And that's his creative process that somehow still makes money. So the fact that he can split that gap is incredible. And he's been doing it for decades. People like to dress him up as like an auteur that maybe he's gotten away from himself, but he's made solid games for years, and that's not an accident.
Taking risks. And I don't know, I just thought it would be nice to look at this from a very pure
it is really nice.
and gaming in a beautiful, pure way. It's what this feels like.
Only issue, because I guess I know Kojima now. I feel like I've been playing his games for 20, 25 years or whatever, and it's like, he does this really cool thing where he intimidates the hell out of you with his setting. So good example is Gray Fox, the cyborg ninja from Metal Gear Solid. And the first time you're introduced to him, there's this invisible thing and it's killing people and everyone's screaming and dying. And then when you get introduced to him, it's just a fist fight. It's like, okay. And it's just this guy chasing you around a room going, hurt me more. And then you're like, oh, this is going to be a batshit crazy fight. And then the cutscene kicks in and you're like, oh, that's what. So everything with Death Stranding where there's like everything seems like you're up against odds and oh man, it's going to be crazy. At the end of the day, it's still a video game.
You're going to walk around and collect things.
And that's the jaded part. Yes. That where when I see Anthem, I go, that's a wall, that's a wall, that's a collectible, that's purple, that's good. So like.
Well, that's because we play video games for a living.
Yeah, exactly. But oh man, to be in Norman Reedus's biker boots and just like be able to see that game for the first time and be like, what are games now, man?
Yeah, he played Galaga in the arcade in 1983, and that was the last time he played a video game. And then he showed this. He's like, what the fuck is that?
Omar, I know Omar will have some positivity on this.
I'm trying
Omar,
to be positive.
Do you see Norman Reedus, his beautiful view of this? Does it warm your heart?
It does.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, well, it's not to say that it doesn't warm our hearts. I think it definitely warms my heart.
Sure.
It's the same way that I look at Anthem. Like, I didn't play Destiny for hundreds of hours. So when I got into Anthem, I was like, whoa, cool. This guy's got a fucking laser gun, and I shot it. I was like, whoa, neat. You know, like that's the way that I occasionally approach games because I don't play games all the time.
But on your second monitor, you're like, how's my stock? Oh,
It's going down, trust me.
So you're on Twitch going, it's good. Everyone
Please. That's the worst part, by the way, is that I bought Anthem, just so you know. I bought that game.
Come in your investor pack.
That was not something that, like, it's not like I'm like hashtag ad for EA. I pre-ordered it to play that game.
They pay you to play Apex Legends?
Absolutely not. It's free to play, number one.
I feel like you're part of an EA MLM now where it's like you're buying the product.
They're fooling me. I'm the one losing.
Yeah, but you fool everybody else. That's how the situation works.
Who am I fooling?
You roll them up into your Anthem network where you just have a bunch of streamers streaming for you.
But they
and
have to recruit 5 people.
Yeah.
Keep it, and then they're your
scheme.
downlines.
That's
each person has to buy 1 EA stock for the person above them.
No. I mean, sure, yeah, Bruce, it looks like a pyramid because you're at the top.
Bruce just buys 5 of his friends' PCs to play Anthem on.
He's losing so
What
much
am I
money.
doing? I know. Why am I so stupid?
Anyway, Warms Our Hearts raises a lot of questions.
Amen.
It's Valentine's Day this week,
Oh my.
which means that there might be a little bit of romance, a little bit of sexy times.
Brush the cobwebs off
Going
the genitals
on.
there.
So I thought that we would maybe do a test of everyone's sex IQ as
Fantastic.
per Cosmo Magazine 2013.
Fantastic.
Did they go to business?
No, I think
Okay,
they're
I didn't know you picked 2013.
But before that, I
Hasn't
want
sex
you.
changed since then?
No.
We do it differently now.
More ass
Sex
eating.
is the same, except that you eat ass.
Yeah.
That's a box quote.
Eat ass and peg.
Pegging, yeah.
But before we get to that, though, in the name of Valentine's Day, I want to say, like, as you're trying to keep the person in your life happy, remember to keep yourself happy. And for the modern guy, a lot of that comes with treating yourself. And Mack Weldon is the modern menswear essentials brand that believes in premium fabrics, smart design, and simple shopping that's going to help you treat yourself right. They make men's essentials elevated by technical innovation. It's the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, sweats, and more that you will ever wear. Is anyone here?
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler Max Weldon, yeah?
No, I'm not wearing one.
Yeah.
Double
Have to be
check.
careful.
Yeah,
These guys usually are.
Yeah, but
Yep, there she is.
you guys love him. James loves him.
Oh, that's a nice pattern you got there.
I fold those little Mack Weldons for him sometimes. But
Aw, that's
they're-
romantic.
Nice.
You just tie them in a knot. Throw 'em out the window. Go get 'em.
They're designed for daily wear. Mack Weldon's products don't just look good, they perform well too. You can wear them on weekends or to work, around the house. You know, if you're working out, James loves to work out in them. Especially because the silver line of underwear, shirts, and socks are naturally antimicrobial, which means they eliminate odors and they keep you fresh for longer. Mack Weldon also has a try-on guarantee, so if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and still receive a refund. You can get free shipping on orders over $50, and they always offer free returns. So head to mackweldon.com and get 20% off your entire first order using promo code DUDESOUP20. That's mackweldon.com, promo code DUDESOUP20. And thank you, Mack Weldon. And now to the test. So yeah, I asked you guys a series of questions before the test, including Omar, who's going to go to himself in the booth.
I got them
That's
all.
not
I got
fair.
them all right, by the way, just so you know.
Omar's fuck IQ is going to be.
I got them every one of them right.
I don't know if there's a right.
And
There
so-
is, and I got them all right.
Yeah, it's Cosmo, and this quiz is pretty dated. It's like 6 years old, and a lot's changed in the last 6 years. So I would say that maybe this quiz targeted. Ooh,
Whoa,
romantic.
Valentine's Day lights.
Thanks, Omar.
Wow.
I would say this is maybe a little antiquated,
Okay.
a little out of touch, but it's actually
We're in an
supposed to
anal
be.
vor now.
I guess it's more targeted at women to see what they know about men. But I wanted to see what you guys knew about
Man,
yourselves.
Yeah,
Everything.
I know everything.
What men want. That's a good idea for a sequel. Make that.
Anal.
Probably gonna make tons of money this weekend because women and men want to see something on Valentine's Day with their significant others.
Didn't even
It
for a
premiered
second
last
think about
or
that. Yeah.
premiered last weekend. And it's already bombed.
They bought out all the underground walkway in LAX though.
I wanted to see Mel Gibson.
Special cameo.
He's got to be in it.
We know what he wants. There's no mystery there anymore.
Yeah, he had a whole recorded phone call about it.
So I asked you guys these questions before the podcast. You wrote down your answers, so you can elaborate on your answers as well. First question: is it possible, or it's possible for a guy to have multiple orgasms? True or false?
How do you want us to do this? You want us to go around, or
Yeah,
what?
let's start one by one.
Okay,
You
I'll go. Who cares? For me, one is enough, baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all about you.
So you
Damn right.
do or don't think?
Elise is gonna have to ask that every time at the end. Do you think it's possible for men to have multiple orgasms?
I don't think it's possible.
Okay, what did you guys say?
Go ahead, Adam.
I said
I've got the best.
I said yes, but each time is more painful than the last.
Okay.
This is a joke. Omar, what'd you answer?
Yes.
I
Okay.
said yes,
A
as long as
normal
you're
human.
under 20 years old.
That's
Under 20?
Is this your positive mental attitude, Omar?
Positive that only young people can do it more than once.
And Sting.
Wait.
Sting's
wait,
not
wait.
young.
Wait.
I'm going to shatter all of your expectations. Absolutely. I've done it multiple times.
So wait.
Multiples.
and relatively recently.
Did you do? Wait.
Yes.
I need to understand this.
Yes.
So does this mean that you orgasmed once but didn't ejaculate?
No. So this is like basically like the refractory period is 30 seconds. It's like that.
So you came twice.
Well,
Double the volume.
I mean, like, let's not say
he's back in there.
It may not have been twice. It may have been more than that.
This also
Lawrence, you know
solves
what
a
I'm saying?
mystery that I've a hunch I've had about Bruce for a long time. Bruce does not masturbate. That's the only way that's possible.
I do, but not very often.
Well, no. Well, hold on. Wait. If you don't masturbate, well, that means
Cannot
we'll get to
compute.
it. There are other questions.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. If a guy is
course
tuned
they
in to his
can.
level of arousal, he can bring himself close to that point
Come
and
on,
experience some of
guys.
the pleasure of an
That's called
orgasm
edging. That's
without
not-
fully climaxing.
No. Actually, orgasm.
As long as
Wait,
you
no,
know that.
edging isn't orgasm.
No.
No, well,
jizzing.
You have to complete.
Jizzing more than once. Jizzing more than once is possible.
Medically
like-
jizzing.
So wait, is that like stopping mid piss? Because
No.
It's just having two orgasms, Lawrence.
but there's a physical product.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
do it. You can do it twice.
Yeah.
So you don't empty out your first go. You're just being stingy.
No,
It's what the body decides to do.
It's what
Your body cannot fill back up.
I'm
in
gonna-
30
How
seconds.
much do you regret this, Elise?
Well, it says here that without fully climaxing, you can enjoy the pleasure of an orgasm without fully climaxing. So as long as he doesn't ejaculate.
I'm not saying that.
Oh, he's saying something different.
I'm saying that you can go full on bang,
full splood?
finish it off, and just keep going.
Oh no, I know that.
Never stop.
Oh, believe me,
North
I know.
Star.
And you can go
Straight on till morning.
right in again.
We got
kabang.
13 of these.
I know. Sorry.
believe me.
Cosmo did not expect men to answer these
I've
questions.
kabanged through it, and yeah, but usually it's like 10 at least.
Oh, no.
For the body to restock.
It's
That guy's got to come out of the back and put the boxes back on the shelf.
I'm not saying that I can do it often. I'm just saying it's happened.
Question 2, what percentage of men in relationships always have an orgasm during sex? Is it 95%, 75%, or 55%?
Let's all answer at the same time because we all know the
Yeah.
right answer.
Yeah.
95%.
I mean, I made up my own 100%.
Oh, I said 75% because lots of dudes jack off before a date.
Yeah.
Omar,
Or is that 100? Oh, you
100%.
guys, simpatico on that
That's
one.
great.
Yeah.
As
The-
long as, like, if a stiff breeze comes through the window, that's it. We're done.
Cosmo Doctor
God bless being
says
dudes.
75% of men in relationships report always having an orgasm with their partner. Only 28% of women say the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
Thanks, Mother Nature. Wait. That means 1 out of 4 dudes bang it out and just like, I'm tired. And they roll over.
Well,
and
I mean,
go to sleep.
there's different factors. Like I'm guilty of this, where it's like there's a point of no return where you're just like,
Yeah.
this is
It's just
going
not-
nowhere.
Yeah, it's true. I've been there.
I'm like,
But that's when you enter
everyone's
the-
just in pain now, so let's just stop.
That's when you
Like,
enter the zone, or you just go get some lube, get some water, stretch it out.
No. Sometimes the problem is
You don't get that? You know, Eye of the Tiger.
You're talking about
You're 30 minutes in.
talking about another
30
human
minutes.
being.
Who you've praised this whole podcast.
his cock sleeve.
God.
She's
It sounds like a
that's her
butler.
words, not mine.
Doesn't it?
What?
Doesn't that sound like a butler?
Yeah.
Cocksleeve.
Come, cock sleeve.
Coxley, where's my bread?
Open your anus.
The politic of that gets pretty
Unrelated.
complicated because you don't want her to feel like she's done a bad job.
I don't know. And then some people
You're
too
absolutely
are
right.
like they just have stage fright, and they're just like
That's also a
or
thing,
like
yeah.
You get up too up in your head, and then you're like, no.
And then
I'm
sometimes,
not gonna-
like, there's the guy who wants to over please, and they're like, I don't want to finish because I want to make sure, hey, she's fully taken care of. And once that point hits where she's like, well, I'm done. You're like, oh, well, shit, I should have finished 15 minutes
You
ago.
just go to the bathroom.
That's why long-term relationships are the best thing ever.
Yeah, communication.
What is the average length of a hard penis? 6 to 7 inches, 5 to 6 inches, 3 to 4 inches.
5 to 6 inches. B.
B.
5 to 6 inches.
Oh, okay. What'd you say, Lawrence?
I put C because I can believe whatever I want. So I believe that most penises are tiny, which makes mine huge in comparison.
I said I can only speak from personal experience. So 13 inches.
5 to 6 is correct.
Well, hold the thing. If
Yeah.
Adam, if the average is 13, then you're just average. Think about that.
No, it means I'm above average.
No, it's asking what the average is, not what yours is.
Well, that's true.
No, I know.
Semantics,
the average
dude,
is
you got-
13.
The average is 2 inches, so your 13 is a monster.
I
Never
know what I
mind.
said. I have a 25-inch penis.
All right, there we go.
Are you on
it's
honor
horrific.
system keeping track of your scores?
Wait.
Oh,
there's
there's scores?
Well, I mean, I thought we could, maybe.
I mean, I got them all right, so yeah.
Okay.
I win no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I wasn't
Question
Dudes
for
always ejaculate.
trauma can cause a penis to break. True or false?
True.
Absolutely
True.
true, because I've seen some shit.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
of it.
I heard that on
Wait,
the
you
radio.
haven't seen it?
The women
No.
at Cosmo say that false.
What?
Trauma
No.
can cause membranes to tear, but it can't break like a bone.
Oh, well,
That's not a bone, of
That's
course.
kind of a trick
I
question.
mean, it.
Silver-tongued women writing this quiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lady pile drive a dick and miss, and then there was a tendon that snapped because
Yeah,
that
yeah,
thing
yeah.
like just went bloop, and it
But
wouldn't
I guess
stand up
the
anymore.
way they're wording it, though, it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's the membrane. It was not, there was no
Yeah.
snap. It's like, your bone didn't break. It's shattered. Like, fuck you.
I mean,
it's still fucked.
They caught you on semantics.
They are
Yeah.
correct that
Okay.
blood vessels don't snap, but tendons sure do. And
Sure.
it's like there's a ballast thing back there that keeps it.
Look,
Anyway,
they do this for a living. So, or maybe they still do. I don't know. 2013, who reads magazines? Anyway, next.
Who daydreams more while having sex, men or women?
Oh, God, I mean, this is got.
And it's weird because like when I think about like daydreaming, I think of like me being like, I want to be an artist.
Yeah.
you're sipping tea with butterflies flitting around your head.
Yeah.
I said women.
So women,
Yeah.
what do you
I
guys
could be
say?
wrong though.
I say women because dudes are only doing 2 things while having sex: either coming immediately or trying not
Trying
to
not
come
to
immediately.
Oh, man.
So there's no space
I'm
for
always
daydreaming
stressing
in there.
out about stuff like I got worked. I think of the worst stuff.
that really romantic?
Kind of. It's like my mind
What
wanders.
do you say, Omar?
He said true.
True.
Yeah.
So wait, Adam,
Is it
you're,
women?
Women.
you saw Rocky Balboa, right?
No.
Oh, well, there's a sequence when he's getting his ass kicked that he just goes to a really dark place and it like
Yeah.
shows gravestones and stuff. That's like you when you're fucking.
Kind of. It's that thing where you say don't think of elephants, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna think about elephants now. So it's like,
Do you
I'm
hear
like,
that in the bedroom a lot?
what?
Think about
Do I
baseball.
cry?
You're supposed to think about baseball.
If you're trying not to
I
kind of
don't
think about
cry.
baseball, your grandma.
I think about
Sammy
ants
Sosa.
biting my dick.
Oh, weird.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I said the person who does most
happened to you
daydreaming
at
is
some
the
point?
other guy in the room.
Oh, jeez.
There is never a part in my life where I'm trying not to come. I don't know this feeling.
Because you're like, let's wrap it up. We got shows to watch. We got
I know.
session
I have
notes. Pretty
6
good.
Netflix
We got shit
shows
to
in
do.
my
We're on a
queue.
schedule.
The answer is women. Women fantasize more while doing it than
Absolutely.
Fantasize is different than daydream.
I mean, I took daydreaming
you
as
on
a fantasized
semantics.
thing,
Oh.
like meaning like oh, like I wish I was doing this or whatever.
Yeah.
Not like Adam where he's stressing out about work.
men. Oh, I
I'm
took
also
it
thinking
as,
about Fabio.
I took it as like you're picturing someone
Right,
else.
someone else.
Oh, my. Well,
yeah, no, I don't need to.
suddenly my feelings are hurt.
Number 6, in some parts of the country, girls have to get approval from their parents before waxing down there. And bonus points if you do say true, if you guess where you think. I'm not saying that true is the right answer, but I'm saying
I'm gonna say true.
yes.
I'm saying true is the
I
right
said true,
answer.
yeah.
I put Midwest.
The state.
Just a blanket.
Yeah.
Or sister. You got
Honduras.
It's a very leading question, so it's Missouri.
Midwest, I was right.
Yeah.
Minors have to get a parental consent before getting a bikini wax.
I changed my answer to land.
Well, I mean,
It's somewhere in land.
minors have to get parental consent for anything.
That's true.
That doesn't make.
Before a stranger can stare right down your
That's
your
a good
gape.
your business. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that you get a letter in the mail from the state of Missouri every 6 months. It's like, well, your child's due. Take him in for service.
Take him in for the wax.
Gotta make that smooth baby smoother.
Which is more nerve endings, the clitoris or the penis? How many do each have?
Come on, that's easy.
That's easy.
Oh, I just said penis because it's bigger, and then it said 1 nerve per organism. Science. Got it.
Equal science. He wrote equal science on it. Obviously, the clitoris, because it's the only human organ designed for pleasure.
Tongue? Oh, wait.
No.
That can tell you if things are
The
spoiled.
tongue can move. Also,
I think it also
talks.
tell you if like predators are nearby.
Your tongue?
No,
Clitoris?
the clitoris. I think it also gets FM radio.
You can hang your keys on it too.
Yeah.
There's like so much you can do.
The clitoris has 80 million nerve endings and the penis has 2.
Did you Google that?
No.
Oh.
Just wrote 80 million.
I said the clitoris is more nervous since it spends all day indoors. The penis has 1 nerve ending and the clit has like 12, I guess.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Omar, did you have like a 15,000?
15,000?
that's a good number.
Booyah.
Not
So-
my penis.
The clitoris shockingly has more.
Yeah.
At approximately 8,000,
Absolutely.
with the penis having 4,000.
Oh,
Tell me how that
Of course,
works.
of course that's right.
whose job was it to count all those nerve endings? We're up to 7,000. Gonna take a break. No.
3.
The bigger a guy's feet are, the bigger his penis is. True or false?
Oh,
This has been proven false for years. We are all made up from a finite amount of what doctors call body stuff. So if you use more of it on the feet, there's less for the penis. That's obvious.
I wrote true because that's what people said when I had big feet.
Yeah, I said yes. I have big feet.
Yes.
Is false. It's impossible to tell the size of a guy's penis
know.
by the size of his hands and feet.
Yeah.
This is, I mean,
Everybody
Cosmo
says
might
that
be
your
wrong.
penis is the size of this to this.
That seems about right.
So if you ever hold up like I have tiny baby hands. And
Yeah.
Yeah, is that about?
Hello.
Sex burns as many calories as running a mile. True or false?
I put true. Oh wait,
Wait, which question was this?
that was
This is
the-
question
hold on.
10.
Okay, yeah.
Did I
I think we
skip
missed
one? Oh,
nine.
I'm
skipped
pardon me. I
nine,
skipped
yeah.
one.
I was
Do
like,
you guys have a G spot? Yes or no?
I said only Warren G does. Yes.
Omar says yes.
Yes, and then I wrote the butthole.
Yeah, it's in your butt, right?
It's in your butthole.
I thought it was the prostate.
Well, no, it's just the hole.
It's
You
inside the
Well,
butthole.
yeah, is
You just
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
You reach
smack
into
the
the
surface.
butthole and
the
then
prostate
you
gland.
give it the rabbit.
they got me
bunny,
on
yeah.
semantics once again.
I
Guys,
think it was Dr. Ruth said the bunny.
that's a yes, but it moves every hour on the hour and can only be found by solving 3 devious riddles.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. 10. Sex burns as many calories as running a mile. True or false?
Bullshit.
That's false.
I put true, but only because I run a mile by laying motionless on the bed and grunting after 45 seconds.
He is correct. True. On average, sex burns between 100 and 150 calories per session.
That's how much running a mile burns? Wow.
Guess.
Okay.
Never done it. No, I have.
Never done.
If a guy has a small flaccid penis, it won't be much larger when erect. True or false?
I said false. My dick gets small, so sometimes, not always though.
I wrote
Going to all caps.
I wrote maybe. Is this shower or a grower?
Oh, yeah.
'Cause sometimes some people are showers and other people are growers.
Whatever. False.
So false.
Yeah.
I put true. Large dicks are actually even larger when flaccid. Not a lot of people know that. It's actually inverted. It's like how water gets bigger when it freezes, sort
Dicks are
of, but
actually
opposite.
Larger when flaccid.
Yeah, so if a guy has a big dick, it's going to be like 5 feet long when it's soft.
False. The length of a flaccid penis has no direct correlation to the size of the same penis when erect.
That makes sense.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Says Cosmo. I don't know where they get their research.
That's why people are showers and growers.
It might
What?
be dated too. This may have changed in the last.
I
6
never
years.
thought there was an advantage of having a large flaccid cock.
Yeah, there
Sort
is.
of.
Impressing a
When you're
woman.
When you're pissing in public, you can show it off to everybody.
Yeah.
You can like bend it around corners like a SWAT gun or something.
See, we think differently because even if I saw like a big flaccid penis, I'd be impressed.
See, there you
Wow.
go.
But I never think about like, oh, we
does it
can
have to be
pee
groomed
better.
properly?
Yeah,
lightning
I mean,
bolts?
but I would imagine that most guys would be like, if I trim, my penis will look bigger.
Didn't think about that.
That's what people say.
Yeah.
They call
Dang.
that the miracle inch.
I didn't know that. That's a term I didn't know.
Do people get like spray tans on their dick?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Contouring for your
Because
penis.
otherwise, you
wouldn't
just
you
have like
get
a
little abs on
white
there?
dick.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
Also,
they
like
do.
airbrushing. I want to look like the side of a van and like. East
Yeah, like
LA.
a little. There's a wizard riding a dragon on the
Oh,
side.
that'd be cool.
After the bedroom, what's the second most popular place people have sex?
Baseball game.
Okay, that was not one of the options.
Oh man.
I said public restroom, but usually at an Applebee's.
Okay.
Sexiest place.
What did you
Omar
say?
says car.
Car.
I'd say it's
Car.
a trick question. It's all 3 combined. That is, what is it?
What?
were they?
Car.
Kitchen?
Public restroom and car.
Yeah. If
So
you can
it's
get
like a Japanese hostel.
Sorta. If you're just
Okay.
like walking down the street and there's a car that's also a public restroom and somebody's cooking in the front, that's
Or a
bone central
food truck
right there.
bathroom.
That's it.
Is that
Yeah.
even a thing?
I
Are there
don't think
bathrooms
so.
and
I
food
guess, yeah,
trucks?
an RV would count then, right?
If someone's cooking out of it,
People retire
They
and
are-
they go fuck wild in those RVs,
Yeah.
going to all the national parks.
You'd
Yeah.
be like that one guy who thought the Winnebago thought he thought he had self-driving in his car just because
cruise
he had cruise control, and he went cruise control, nice. Well, time to go to bed.
Time to go fuck my wife.
At least what was the right answer?
the right answer is car.
Oh,
This is the second most common out of the
Because of
bedroom.
teenagers.
yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
Oh, they're hot rods.
Get off my neighborhood!
You greasers and
At least he's running out there in her
Cosmo 2013.
trying to jerk off. 13 is our last question, which opened my eyes. I feel deceived. Guys can fake orgasms too? Question mark. True or
True.
false?
Yeah, absolutely true.
I'm a master of disguise.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I pretend that I'm James Bond every time I
That's
do.
absolutely true.
That is very much true. Cosmo says that apparently, I'm just learning this now, many men fake it every now and then. Oh,
Of course they do.
You just
I
go,
have been-
ooh,
Yeah.
and then you fall asleep.
I've been so deceived.
No one can
yeah,
tell.
I always go, itty bitty, time to go to bed. That's my catch line.
Well, also,
That's
you,
fine.
sometimes like you could do it, and then if somebody asks like, "Oh, did you finish?" You're like, "Yeah, absolutely." And they're like, "But I don't see anything."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, it's because like I masturbated 10 times today, so nothing. I basically used it all, so it was nothing."
I usually
Good
just
night.
go, and that's the trick.
Then you roll over.
Ta-da! Yeah. And then I jump out the window and go, see my show in Vegas.
I shot it way up there, baby. It's gonna come out in a day.
Oh,
Yep.
ugh.
Well, I hope you guys take
Pillow
what you
talk.
learned from this and apply it to your Valentine's Day celebrations. I personally don't celebrate the holiday, so I'll just be
to.
banging as usual.
That's a downer.
I actually just realized I'm in pretty. I ordered flowers to be delivered to Blizzard, and that would have been really bad if Stephanie lost her job
That would
today.
be really bad.
Well, we're good. She yelled at me for getting her flowers that were mostly dead last year because I somehow approved them directly. So I got her flower sprouts this year. Take that, girlfriend.
Really good hot tip, life pro tip for y'all. If you need flowers in a pinch, great place to get it. Horse funeral.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on the podcast. This week on Funhaus, if you're watching this episode right now as it's live on Tuesday, make sure that you tune in to youtube.com/funhouse on Wednesday, February 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, because there's a live Inside Gaming retrospective. You guys are watching
Old Inside
stuff.
Gaming videos.
Yeah,
You found some?
Yeah, we got a hard drive of like the channel dump, so we're just gonna watch through old stuff and trade stories and reminisce.
It'll be fun.
Because and people have been asking if it's going to be available on video. That's tough because technically we're not supposed to even be
Yeah,
streaming.
I think we can stream it, but I
Kind
don't
of
know
under the
about-
radar stuff.
Don't tell anyone.
I
Yeah.
just told her.
Oh,
But yeah, spread the word about the stream. We'll see what we can do about getting it up, but
I don't know.
we don't know. We
if
don't
they
know.
took all the videos down, they can't content ID it.
Yeah, and there's no one left. Like who's left to chase us? I don't know.
And this weekend on Funhouse, we have Crackdown 3 gameplay,
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 gameplay coming, and the Slater Part 4. And make sure you watch Gaming Weekly this week.
Yes.
It's something special. What time and date
Oh, yeah, it is
should they
something
tune
special.
Thursday around 10:30 Pacific, 10:30 a.m.
We're streaming it, right?
in? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the live. And the VOD goes up on
Friday
Friday.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, special
It's a
things.
special week.
We got an exclusive
Yeah.
We do have an exclusive.
world premiere.
And stay tuned now because we're going to the post show. But thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Being on
Thanks,
the
Elise, for
podcast.
hosting. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
you
thank
did a
you,
great
Alf.
job.
Thanks.
To Alf.
Gandalf. YouTube challenge. Try to come twice this week.
Lawrence.
And within a minute.
I'll try.
Within a minute.
If you don't
Alf can come
ejaculate
as
for
much as
like
he
2
wants.
weeks, you could do it.
No.
Yeah.
You would look at your penis and it would go bleh, like immediately.
Play us
Podcast is
out,
over.
Omar.
Hey.
You have to, you gotta use your brain, Lawrence.
I still don't see how it's possible. That it just means that you have to be your body has to be reserving some goo.
Any second, Omar.
I'm sorry that I
Yeah, you can cut it.
I throw my back into everything all the time.
He's talking
It's always
sorry.
100%. Okay.
You can cut
You
it.
No
can-
half comes here, Bruce.
cut
I don't save
This is
anything for the
over.
swim back.
Any minute now, Omar.
I'm not going to apologize for that.
And they were doing a lot more distribution deals, meaning what that means is we wouldn't be making content. We would be getting shows that other people had made that we didn't really have anything to do with and then putting them out on our channels. And that's just not an interesting business model for me. Like it's not a cool job for me.
Well, it almost made it seem like the position you wanted to be in was not working at the company, but working somewhere